Patriarchy clearly has like a strict anthropological meaning in that societies where only men are allowed to be in positions of power and authority. We don't live in one of those anymore. We haven't lived in one of those for half a century now. In this country we've had like 3 female prime ministers and so forth, right? But there's also a different way in which people use the word patriarchal, which is that there's this quite deep-seated feeling shared by both men and women cross-culturally that masculine things are higher status than feminine things.
Modern women have been taught that true freedom is having sex like their brother and working like their father.
Because it's this like clambering up, trying to attain that masculine status, which for some women, particularly women who have a more masculine temperament, have done well out of the changes we've seen since the sexual revolution. And that's why you see this great eagerness actually of women, now that they can, to participate in like masculine coded things. And I think often that's what feminists are describing when they talk about things being patriarchal, like they recognize the fact that there's that kind of status gap. Most women aren't like that though, and aren't made happier by trying to be more male.
This is what Richard Reeves's book was so interesting, where he talks about there are 4 times more female fighter pilots in the US Air Force by percentage than there are male kindergarten teachers.
Misogynists exist, there are some of them out there, but that's not typical. Like, you familiar with the women are wonderful bias?
Yes, both men and women are more positively predisposed to news stories that complement women's outcomes.
This is the cognitive bias where people will tend to actually prefer to sort of show kindness and generosity to women over men, which doesn't fit at all with the idea that we live in like a misogynist culture.
Well, the New York Times last year wrote that article, "Maternal instinct is a myth that men created."
No, that's not true.
Drink the poison from the same